dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News Weekend Edition.
Good evening, I'm Madison Carmouche. Thanks for staying up with us. Talks aimed at reaching a deal to free the remaining 120 Israeli hostages held by Hamas are expected to resume next week. The negotiations would take place with active U.S. involvement. For now, the fighting continues in Gaza. CBS's Imtiaz Taib has more.
Israel's relentless attacks on Rafah are only intensifying following the order by the International Court of Justice to stop its military operation there. Over the past week, the Israeli military has also been widening its bombing campaign across all of Gaza. This UN school in northern Gaza City, a shelter for civilians, was struck multiple times overnight. The blood of those killed still fresh as their bodies are prepared for burial. The devastating increase in violence has triggered a mass forced displacement of tens of thousands of Palestinians, many fleeing with what little possessions they have left to a fate unknown. As the Biden administration's efforts to get aid into Gaza falters, operations at the $320 million U.S. military-built pier were suspended today because of rough seas. The worsening violence follows the Israeli military's discovery of the remains of 6 hostages this past week. All are thought to have been killed on October 7th. And of the around 125 who it is believed remain, it's unknown how many are still alive, including Ali al-Ziadana's brother Yusuf and nephew Hamza, who were taken on October 7th. Every time we hear they find more bodies, it just increases the pain, he says. Al-Ziadana belongs to a Muslim Bedouin community in southern Israel, close to the barrier wall with Gaza. While they're Israeli citizens, their towns and villages are often neglected by the government.
It must be terrifying to think that Israel is continuing to widen its military operation in Rafah, knowing that your brother and nephew could potentially be there.
Yes, because our government and prime minister doesn't listen to anybody, he says. The whole world is calling on him to stop the war and to bring back the hostages, but Netanyahu doesn't listen.
Imtiaz Taib, CBS News, East Jerusalem.
All right, we do have that first alert weather day for your Sunday. Here's what we're going to first alert you to as we go through the next several hours. First of all, an interesting Sunday is in play. We will have thunderstorm chances in the forecast. Some of them could be strong and severe. Thunderstorm chances will continue as we go into your Memorial Day, and then we're going to clear up, and then we're going to cool off as we go into next week. Numbers for today, we were in the upper 70s and low 80s, 79 in Pikeville as well as Hazard. London made it to 80 degrees. Jackson made it to 81. Harlan made it to 83 degrees. And right now we're seeing temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Hazard's at 66. Manchester's at 68. London is at 70. Jackson checking in with 72 degrees at the 11 o'clock hour. Here's a look at First Alert Pinpoint Doppler radar. We had a stray shower over towards the Moorhead area, but that has since dissipated. We are left with a clean sweep across the area. The next 12 hours keeps temperatures in the 60s. Look at the 10 o'clock hour tomorrow, 72 degrees and back into the 80s by the noon hour. Now coming up in the First Alert forecast, we'll dive into tomorrow's forecast as well as Memorial Day. Madison, over to you.
All right, Eric, thank you. And with that severe weather threat on the forecast, officials throughout the Commonwealth are urging people to prep their homes and their loved ones. Lexington Fayette Emergency Management's Emily Fay says the National Weather Service is constantly updating what the weekend might look like, from strong winds to flooding and hail. She says preparedness should come well before the storm is close.
You want to have a plan for what you're going to do if you lose power, if you don't have self-service, if you have medications you need to get refilled, or like a medical device that requires electricity. What's your backup plan if that goes away?
Faye says if any alerts become available, whether it's a warning or watch, it's important to take action and move to the lowest level of the building you're in when the threat arises. Leslie County added a new place to experience its beauty this morning with the opening of the Leslie County RV Park. Vendors and local entertainment gathered at the new park to celebrate its opening as well as showcase what the park has to offer. And with Leslie County having so much to offer, officials believe the park will be a way for people to explore it all.
The more I talk to locals and the county officials, it's more prevalent to me to understand that the thing that's lacking here is not the beauty, it's not the trails, it's not the riding, not the creeks, the fishing, the tubing, the kayaking, all that. It's the lodging. So I've turned my aspect of what I'm doing here to lodging.
Officials at the park plan to build campsites in the future for people visiting the community to experience Leslie County. A new motorcycle trail is honoring veterans and Kentucky history. Jay Fryman with the Backroads of Appalachia says they wanted to host the ride during Memorial Day weekend to memorialize veterans and remind people the true meaning for the holiday. He says the Scout Honor Trail stops by several historic monuments along the way around Lake Cumberland.
It will take you completely around Lake Cumberland and the entire area around that. It's about a 3-hour ride, 122 miles, but you will get to experience the incredible beauty that is southeast Kentucky, as well as you'll be able to ride in a part of McQuarrie County, Wayne County, and of course here in Pulaski County.
Fryman says they are also working to raise money for the Wreaths Across America project, decorating graves for veterans nationwide. Today, community members in Lexington celebrated their differences through the annual Diversity Festival. Filled with food, performances, and businesses from all cultures, the Diversity Festival celebrates the uniqueness of Lexington. With almost 100 vendors and cultural performances, diversity comes in all different shapes and sizes, such as Treehouse Goods, which shares diversity through family generation recipes and unique jewelry.
This particular event really is extra special. I'm seeing everybody that I've met at all the different types of shows here together today.
Vendors who participated in the festival say this is a way to gain exposure. The Diversity Board and participants plan to be back next year. Haywood Farm in Winchester hosted its inaugural Holler Revival Festival this afternoon. The event had live music and food vendors, all of which were native to the Commonwealth. All who set up at the festival were able to keep 100% of their profits, and all of the proceeds made through ticket and t-shirt sales will go toward 8 families in Harlan County. Organizers say they were pleasantly surprised by the turnout.
We do plan on making this a tradition. This year is actually going a lot better than expected for just 3 people not really knowing what they're doing. So this year or next year we plan on making it bigger and better.
The organizers say they hope to create a larger movement of Kentuckians supporting Kentuckians. The 93rd Annual Mountain Laurel Festival celebrated with its annual Governor's Luncheon and Queen Coronation. WYMT's Jack Demler has more from Pineville.
A celebration of more than 9 decades.
Anything that lasts 93 years is special.
Joined by members of the governor's office.
It's a great opportunity to represent the governor and be here at Pine Mountain State Park because it's Kentucky State Park's 100th anniversary this year. So this is a great milestone, and I was just honored to be part of it.
The Kentucky Mountain Laurel Festival celebrated its annual Governor's Luncheon and Queen Coronation, crowning Whitney Caldwell from the University of the Cumberlands. An honor, she says, came full circle.
Growing up, I danced here in like our little dance school. We danced in it, but it's so different when you're actually here and doing it. It's just a whole nother perspective.
Caldwell joins a list of 92 other women who represent a reflection of the community and the Commonwealth.
Well, I think it represents the best of Kentucky.
Caldwell says she hopes to represent her community in a positive light.
I have the utmost respect for everyone here and love in my heart, no matter where I end up in life. I've born, raised here, everything, and I just love everyone here with top to bottom of my whole heart. So.
Continuing to celebrate the longest active festival in Kentucky. In Pineville, Jack Demler, WYMT Mountain News.
There will be a mass and community worship and a Queen's breakfast tomorrow morning. For more on the governor's luncheon, the Queen's coronation, or any of the coverage from the Kentucky Mountain Laurel Festival, check out our website. Coming up at 11, one U.S. rapper got into some legal trouble overseas after performing at one of many out-of-country tour dates.
And in the world of weather, we have that first alert weather day for tomorrow as thunderstorm chances are in the forecast. We'll time everything out hour by hour coming up in the first alert forecast in a few minutes. Stay with us.